Alright, welcome back to the channel, y'all. If you followed me in my last video, got this load of hickory and oak, and I brought it back here to the wood yard that I'm slowly in the progress of making. So I took the four-wheeler, which thankfully I had laying around here, borrowed from deer hunting, and moved the log splitter over here because I want the hickory to kind of go out of the way back here, because I am hopefully going to sell that to a local barbecue joint down the road. And I know that they do a lot of smoking of their meats and everything. And then the oak, I'm gonna kind of throw into the pile up here. Now I've been trying to get wood for next year, for next fall, so it can season. But like I said in the last video, once all my friends and family figured out I was selling wood again, here in Eastern Kentucky, they don't care if it's seasoned. I mean, you know, if you're sitting at like a 23%, 24% moisture content, they'll burn it. They've got wood stacked up from last year. They know how to, I don't know how they do it, but they just don't care. So I've been selling wood. So I've been going through wood like crazy with them. But the plan is to get a pretty good pile here for orders going out, and then eventually work my way all the way back through here and make a gate through my that's my backyard beyond that fence back there, and get and turn it into a very sizable wood processing place with a big shed back there for my equipment. Little side note, this is my bundle wood pile. So this is kind of mixed hardwood. You can see some tulip poplar, you can see some oak, there's maple in there. I think there might be some beech in there. And then I started this, and I think I'm going to make a whole video about this. This is tulip poplar, but I'm cutting it up in little like 1x2 squares for kindling. And there's 2 more poplar logs over there I've got to process. So anyways, I'm going to get these pallets for the hickory over here so I can get the hickory cut up, and then I'm going to move closer to the pile behind me so we can get the oak cut up. This one's banged up a little bit, but it won't matter when I get wood on top of it. So that should be more than enough space for what little hickory I have right now to sit. But I want it off back here so I'm not messing with it, trying to top off loads up there. Now let's get the other pallet set up over here so we can start processing wood once we get to it. So I'm going to throw a little juice in the old log splitter here, then we're going to get started splitting. So one thing I'm going to make sure I do too, you know, about half of this is split it up really fine, just so they have varying sizes to work with. And then when I figure out what they actually want, I'll cut only that size. But that's pretty good little chunk of hickory there. Let's split up the rest. Made things a little easier. Backed the truck up, or pulled it forward and backed the four-wheeler up. All right, that took a little while. Still have quite a bit of wood left in the back of the truck. Nice little pile there. What is that? Probably roughly 10 or 11 feet long. Just hickory. I'll eventually either put another pallet over there and start stacking it, or I'll put a pallet up and make like a wall and like start forming a little bin. But I'm gonna move the splitter in the truck down towards that pile and get the oak and the remaining hickory out of here. I don't care to let a little bit of the hickory go with that wood down there, so let's get it down there. All right, let's get that oak and hickory busted up and put right over there. So I didn't quite get all done. The kids came out and told me they're starving. So I'll finish this up after I'm done with them. But got a nice little pile of wood going here. And again, this is, the goal is once, you know, wood slows down and it gets to be summer, all of this, you know, I'm gonna start here and just work my way back. All the way back through there. And that way I have the most seasoned wood up front, and then as the season goes by I can grab wood from there. But kind of want to tell you guys why I started doing firewood. It was like 2005, and I was part-time National Guard, but I didn't really have a job. And honestly, up until my later teen years and early 20s, my stepdad and I didn't get along good, so I kind of hung around my friends' dads, and they, you know, my uncle, and they kind of took me in. Me and my stepdad are fine now. I call him dad, but you know, they kind of raised me up and showed me the countryside of ways to make money. And you know, I never really knew my real dad, and you know, so they kind of took me under their wing. And one of the key figures in my life, his name was John Paul, and John Paul always told me that if a man can't go out in one day and make $50, then he's either broken or lazy. And you know, $50 back then was saying something. At least, you know, you could go out and get pay a couple bills if you made that, you know, $50 a day. And so I literally bought a 55 Rancher, had a little tiny Dodge Dakota 2-wheel drive truck, and a hand maul, like a $12 8-pound fiberglass handle splitting maul. And I split wood, and I went crazy. I cut on my Memo and Papaw's land and just cut up old treetops. And when I would haul wood to people's houses, I would ask for scrap metal, you know, because people around here, you know, that used to be a good way to make money, was haul off scrap metal. And it just became a huge hobby of mine, honestly. I loved cutting firewood, and then I started cutting firewood for this place called Northeast Kentucky Area Development, and they deal with like assistance for like heating assistance for bills, like kerosene vouchers, coal vouchers, and wood vouchers. And when I started selling for them, it really took off. And then, you know, I got deployed to Afghanistan a couple times, and you know, became active duty National Guard. You know, the full-timers that keep the guard running in between drills, and I kind of just fell off. But now that I'm in a good place, I'm active duty National Guard again, but I have a little bit of time in the evenings. Honestly, I burn the midnight oil. I work by headlamp a lot, but I'm really just wanting to get back into it because I really, really, really like cutting firewood, and I like meeting people and servicing people. So next year, my goal is to have like a lawn mowing business. I spent about 10 grand on lawn mowing equipment this year. and next year I really plan to take off with it. So, and I want you all to stick along for the ride. So this firewood thing isn't going away, and I'm really excited to see where it takes me. The closer I get to retirement, the bigger I want the business to be, you know, LLC, all that stuff. So but yeah, stick around to the next video, because I want to show you kind of what I use, my yard, you know, my wood yard, and I'm going to show you how I process poplar logs to produce something I'm hoping will do pretty good next year, which is poplar kindling. So we'll see how that goes, but stay tuned. And I'm gonna say this in every video, I have a fishing channel, The Salty Googan. I will figure out a way to link my channel to these videos, but if you like fishing, I fish for it all: saltwater, freshwater, kayak, bank, boat, I do it all. So yeah, stop on by that other channel, give it some love and subscribe. But I'm gonna go in here and cook for my family, they're starving. Thanks for watching.